in it. Beef Sticks Podcast.
Back in the saddle again. I'm back.
Hey, Pasty.
Yes, sir.
I could hear myself echoing in your background. You want to turn my
Oh, I suppose I should
my stuff
plug
off
the
on
headphones
yours?
in.
You might want to plug the headphones in. I heard myself talking back, and I was like,
You
"Damn,
might
who's that
wanna say
sexy
things
voiced
like
mother
that."
blooder over there?"
This is fun.
Who is it?
You get to go for a minute because I have to do a couple of things that I completely forgot about.
All right. That's all right. I'll bring them in, man. I'll hit our sponsors at Monster Wear Clothing.
Oh no.
Folks, never forget Monster Wear Clothing, because Monster Wear Clothing will never forget about you. That's right. You want a really cool Fight Owens Fight shirt like this? They'll bootleg it up for you quick as shit. Half the price, quarter of the price. You want bumper stickers? They'll hook you up. You got a little spot down the road where you're selling a little weed, huh? You slanging them bags? You need to promote your product, huh? Samson, Mr. Happy Weed, man, they'll give you some bumper stickers to put out there, some decals to decorate. That's right, friends. I joke, but seriously, our friend Corey Matthews, hit him up. Monsterwear, you can find him on Facebook. Monsterwear, high quality. This isn't just some press-on crap that's gonna flake off in a couple weeks. No, high quality. I've dealt with his products. I've seen his products, decals, bumper stickers, the works. And hey, drop Pasty White's name, drop the podcast, he'll hook you up. That is Monsterwear Clothing. Shirts, decals, bumper stickers, and more. You got a hockey mask? It's hockey season. Is it hockey season? I don't know when hockey season is.
Well, it's cold
You'd think
out.
winter would
One
be
would
hockey
have
season.
to assume it's hockey season.
Yeah, you'd think so. It's hockey season. You want to personalize your child's hockey mask? You got to spend $5,000 just to get half the equipment. You might as well make him stand out on the ice so he isn't just another duck in the flock. My kids watched the Mighty Ducks the other day. Duck in the flock. No, you want him to stand out. So he'll hook you up with some really badass. And you know what? Maybe you're like, hey, I want something, but I don't know. Go there. He'll walk you through it. He'll give you some ideas. Can't say enough good things about our friend Corey Matthews. Not at all. So, this week's episode, we're going to talk some more about Survivor Series, folks.
God,
that's right. It's just eating up.
To talk about, man.
Just eating up. We got our
By the way,
our
I was
tweet
right.
segment. You were right. Title changes are coming. Our 2-tweet segment seems to be taking off. I think that's something that's going to stick around because, man, these wrestlers, they like to tweet. They like to tweet. And, hey, coming up in the news here, we got a little something for you where something that we've mentioned in 2-tweet segments the last couple weeks actually turned into something real. I don't know how long I'm supposed to spiel, Pasty White. I mean, I can get right into some 2 tweets, but
we can go right into it.
I don't know
homie.
if... All right. Oh, actually, before that, I can refrigerate on my end. Maybe you have time to click a refrigerate on yours. I don't know.
Hey,
But
yeah. Give me a moment. Sorry. You got me all heated up for the 2 tweets. I wasn't primed to pump.
I know. We got so many things in different places, folks. We're clicking back and forth to different windows. You know, we got our agenda set up. We got our recording stuff that we got done. We got sound effects over here. We have our 2 tweets in a different place over here so we can just read them all without having to funky with stuff. So, I mean, hey, you know what? That's where your Patreon money and your GoFundMe money can help us out. That's right. Patreon.com/CloudStyle. You can check us out. We could get like double monitors. Man, double monitors would help a huge amount. Just having double monitors so we could have 2 different things going at one time. We could get better setup to get better video for you folks. We can get sound I know I found out last week we didn't even have sound on YouTube. So, hey, man, that's how poor we are. We can only afford one audio.
Right.
One audio output. You got to pick and choose who you're listening to. So that's where that helps. Go to GoFundMe, search Cloud Style Broadcasting. You can find us there. Any little bit helps. Go on Facebook. Hit us up Facebook. There's Cloud Style Broadcasting on Facebook. Beef Sticks Podcast on Facebook. Leave your comments there. Put questions. YouTube. We're streaming live on YouTube. We're streaming live on Spreaker.com, on iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher Radio. Anytime you download, anytime you click, anytime you subscribe, anytime you put notifications on, anytime you give a review, whether it's a positive or negative, that helps us out. When you leave comments, that helps us out. Any of those things we appreciate greatly. We appreciate you just sitting here listening to this now. That means a lot to us. In fact, if I'm feeling funky, and I just might, I'll go to our YouTube. I'll go to our YouTube right now, and I'll get on the chat so we can chitty and chatty.
Chitty bang
in case
bang.
In case anybody wants to bang my chitty. I just gotta mute it because it's a little lagged. So
our fine four-fendered friend.
It's easy for you to say. All right, we're in the chat officially. I'll be flipping back and forth. That's another thing I gotta flip through, folks. So if I don't get to you right away, it doesn't mean I'm ignoring. But
and for the record, I do have a second monitor, but my second monitor is completely dedicated to running this wonderful background video you guys get to witness every week on the Beef Sticks YouTube, and cannot be used for anything else.
Right. Unless you want to see that on your, that's what you're gonna see. So are we ready to refrigerate?
Oh yeah, now that you made it to the chat, let's take off on a trip to the refrigerator.
Refrigerator, why do I love you so? Because you hold my food and my beer, so you're my heart and soul. Refrigerator. Last couple weeks I've been throwing my Jim Cornette remix of Refrigerator out there for our Spreaker listeners. I hope they enjoy it. It's just the Refrigerator song with Jim Cornette talking about what a gutless, worthless piece of shit who's got a microscopic penis his wife can't. The old Vince Russo rant.
I love that.
It works. It works well. It works well. Oh shit! I don't have two tweet up. I could probably do that, couldn't I?
That's what I was trying to do.
I know, right?
But before we two tweet, we just went to the refrigerator. Why don't you talk about what you brought back, Fat Mac?
Hey, that rhymed. You should be a rapper.
I should, and I might be this Saturday night at Club Underground.
Woo! All right, I got me. I just had one of these not too long ago. Not the same brand. Or not the same type, but the same brand. I got a Goose Island. It's the Goose Green Line Pale Ale. Hey, hop on board. It's another pale ale. It's got juicy citrus aroma and toasted malt body. I like a toasted body with a juicy aroma, which I think is just like a sweaty broad with a wet pussy, isn't it? But nonetheless, I like them. I like a nice, sweaty pussy broad. Smooth. It's I would call this an extra pale ale myself. It's a beer. It's a good beer, but it's a beer that's borderline soda. If this was like a citrus soda, I'd say it's a bad citrus soda. But it's a good beer. It's super light. You want the dark stuff for the winter because it keeps you nice and warm. But this one's super light. It's one I hadn't had before. I wanted to pick up another Oktoberfest, but I couldn't remember which ones I've done yet this month, if any. And I'm like, well, it's November, but I like to buck the system. And then there was a snow top vanilla. And I might get that again. I'm just worried about how much vanilla is in my snow top. I like it. I like it very much. Goose Island is always a good beer. They are from Chicago, Illinois. So they're close to our home. They're a bigger one than we hit all the time. But man, we run out of some beers. And it's good. And this one was actually donated to Beef Sticks Podcast by a good friend of mine named Don Juan. And good old Don Juan donated this beer after I hunted down his dog today. His dog was set loose, and we didn't know where to find him. But I hunted him down. I found him. And this dog, he's not hard to find. He's a Presicanero. If people don't know, that's a gargantuan dog. When he stands on his hind legs, he's taller than I am, which isn't saying much. I'm a short cat, but nonetheless. So, you want to catch him because he's super nice. He's the sweetest dog in the world, but it intimidates some folks, and some folks go right to, stay off in my yard. I live in these boondocks areas. People have guns everywhere. It's scary. Scary. That's my story about Goose Island Green Line at Pale Ale.
That's a great story.
What are you sipping back on?
I said fuck the beer again this week.
Fuck it.
And I'm sipping on some cola and some Calico Jack spiced rum. I don't normally do the rum, but when I do, it's Calico Jack. No, kidding. This is the first time I've had it. It's very smooth. It's very good. It goes good as a shot. It goes good as a drink. It's fucking rum. It's always gone. You have to learn to live with that.
And that spiced rum seems to be real good in this area. People like the spiced rum in this area.
Yeah, Strategy and myself were fighting over whether we should get this new rum or get time-tested and true Sailor Jerry's 90 proof spiced cherry rum. But I won over with the new one, so yeah.
There you go. You got to try new things, new experiences. Who knows the next time you'll find your next new favorite. So now that we've refrigerated and refrigerated
and
it's time for a segment that we like to call Two Tweet. Yes, folks, it's that time of day again, and we got a good amount here, man. Like I said, they never short us on the amount of tweets that we can get. So I'm gonna start out here. It's kind of a package. So we got one here. Came out, it said, breaking news. Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss have been arrested under DUI charges and 2 grams of weed inside their truck. WWE has planned to make Bliss lose the title this Monday to Mickie James and replace Jax in the Survivor Series with a yet-to-be-named returning woman. And they sorted PWInsider.com as the source. PWI Insider usually is a pretty good source. We rely on them a lot, and that's because they back their stuff up, and they seem to be a reliable source. And they're more than quick to put out retractions when they're incorrect, like we at Beef Sticks Podcast have done in the past. When I first seen this, I sent it to Pasty right away, and I was like, "Not Bliss, no." Kind of worried.
And I responded with a menacing,
that you did, you ass. But I was skeptical because it seemed a little too big, and I hadn't really seen anything else about it. And I had even told Pasty, I was like, I'm going to look into this because this is all I've seen. I just seen it just now. Well, the next day, actually, no, 2 day. When did we see that? Yesterday?
Yeah.
I gotta go back.
That
was yesterday.
On my way to bed when you sent it.
So today, Mike Johnson from PW Insider put out a tweet saying there is a report attributed to PWInsider.com regarding the alleged arrest of 2 female WWE talents. Not only is the story not true, nothing even remotely close was reported by PWInsider.com. So they are saying that not only did they not report it, that's a lie, but that it is not true at all. So that's good news for Bliss and Alexa. And it just goes to show you anybody can put anything out there, and anything you read, especially like tweets or Facebook, quadruple check all of that. Don't even double check, because once somebody sent it out, somebody's going to corroborate it just because they seen that, you know. So quadruple check all your stuff, folks. I very rarely, unless maybe something just comes up before air, do I put out a tweet or a news story that I haven't looked at a few places to see what they all have to say about it. That's not to say that we can't be wrong. Next tweet here comes from Jinder Mahal. He sent this tweet after spoiler, AJ Styles beat him for the WWE title on SmackDown Live. And it says, to AJ Styles, you were the better man for one night. 6 months I held the WWE Championship, defended it countless times all over the world. Huh? 6 months I held the WWE Championship, defended it countless times all over the world. Yeah. Aren't you reading the same thing I'm reading?
I'm reading the same thing you're reading.
It says 6 months I held the hashtag WWE champ. Oh, it doesn't. I never seen that. You're a spell. See, I'm a grammar Nazi. You're a spelling Nazi. I always send stuff to you. You're like, it's spelt wrong. I'm like, shut up. Okay, you're right. It says 6 months I held the WWE Chamoanship. Camoanship.
Chamoian.
The Chameleonship.
Chamoianship.
The Chomo ship. He's been running the Chomo ship. Him and fucking oh man, I'm blanking out his name now. American Beauty. Him and American Beauty are running the fucking Chomo ship. How'd I forget his name now? I love him as an actor. I still like him as an actor. I don't care.
I don't even
gay
know.
or not. Anyway, 6 months I held the WWE Championship, he means to say. Defended it countless times all over the world. I will one day raise the title again. To my haters and wrestling insiders, he puts in quotations, this was not an experiment. I am not injured. I have not violated the wellness policy. So keep throwing shade my way. It only motivates me. And he is bringing up topics that were brought up when he lost it, saying that perhaps he was busted for a wellness violation. Actually, just after the day after we did our show last week, I had heard that he had an arm injury and they might be taking the title off of him because of that. But according to him, that's not true. We're going to talk about that a little more so Pasty and I can discuss some things coming up. But I wanted to put that out there because that's a very positive tweet. He did put himself over, but he didn't say, like, you got lucky or you're not worthy or nothing like that. He said you were the better man for one night, which is true. That's all it takes. And then he went and marked down his stuff, and then he talked about the people who are making up rumors about him and addressed them. I thought that we need to see more tweets like that.
He undressed them on his Chomo ship.
Championship. So now we get into the ugly side. It's the fun side. The Twitter battles. So there's a Twitter battle going here. And it happened because on Monday Night Raw, during the 205 Live match, Corey Graves said something along the lines of Enzo Amore is only the second most hated guy in Britain, I think, right under Piers Morgan. And I think most people know who Piers Morgan is. He was the guy who was on
America's Got Talent.
Was it American Idol? No, not America's Got Talent.
No, you're right.
Was it American Idol?
American Idol.
He's been on. He does like 1001 reality shows, but he's always the.
Wasn't it AGT?
He's the European.
Because it was him and Sharon Osbourne.
Was he on there?
I think it was AGT.
Okay, I think he was on. I think he started on American Idol.
Either way, he's a guy from those shows.
he's the pompous. He's the one guy who always just tells them how it is, and
he's the more boring Simon Cowell. Is what he is.
Okay. Oh, Simon Cowell's who I was thinking of, and that's actually who I was thinking of this whole time. But they're the same person. You're right. Simon has a little more personality, I think. Simon was America's American Idol. Pierce could be America's Got Talent. I think you're right.
Yeah, because he was on, and I know Sharon was only on America's Got Talent. And
so Corey Graves sent out a tweet saying, oh wait, I'm missing a tweet here. I'm missing a tweet from Pierce Morgan that set this up. Well, luckily, I have my tweets right here. So Pierce said, actually, I loved Pierce's. He has a better tweet, but I liked his tweet. But luckily, I keep everything in my phone. I must have missed one somewhere along the way. Pierce Morgan. Well, I don't see it, but I'll paraphrase it. Basically, Pierce Morgan said, "Aren't you the guy who wasn't good at wrestling, so they made him become and then he said in parentheses, bad announcer?" And he said that to Corey Graves, responding to Corey Graves, calling him the most hated man. So Corey Graves sent out a tweet saying, "I'm sorry, I meant no disrespect. I had no idea who you were. I simply Googled most hated man in England. Welcome to relevance, though." So then Pierce responds back, "Mate, I have 5.8 million more followers than you. When it comes to relevance, I'm John Cena and you're Heath Slater." Oh, that was good. I love that. I mean, it should have ended there. I think Pierce won this one, but Corey Graves did respond, which with the tweet I don't get, but it says, "I owe you an apology. I actually do like your carpool karaoke show. My bad. Oh, wait."
It's not his show. It's a late night talk show.
British guy.
Yeah.
That does it.
Yeah.
So must be another British guy that does one of those. I didn't really catch that reference. I know there's a carpool karaoke, but I thought it was a stand-up comedian. I don't know about no British guy. But anyways, I just loved that. I probably wouldn't have put this on if it wasn't for the "I'm John Cena and you're Heath Slater" as far as relevance.
Yeah, that's great.
And that goes to show that he knows his wrestling. Somebody didn't just call him and say, "Hey, WWE called you out." He probably heard it watching it, because who knows Heath Slater? Unless he just Googled most irrelevant man in WWE, and Heath Slater probably popped up. That's possible. Moving along with our tweets, Mia Khalifa sent a thing out saying, "Vegans can't go there for lunch. There's no vegan options," in quotes. This is from a tweet thread that I didn't get all of, but it says, "Please go to the gluten-free vegan seat away from my brisket and ribs." And Austin Aries, who is a pretty hardcore vegan, like he goes out of his way to even not like have leather products if at all possible and stuff like that. He really goes the all-out vegan, said, "Don't worry, we'd never deprive you of the pleasure you get from shoving the meat in your mouth and down your throat. Have at it." So Aries not being very classy, but being very funny. Two more. We got one more coming up, and then I want to end with a positive one. We got one from Shane McMahon that came yesterday. "Further proving SmackDown Live is the superior brand, I'm happy to announce John Cena will be the 5th member of Team SmackDown at Survivor Series," he says, which I found laughable as shit.
Yeah, Cena shouldn't even be allowed to fight in the Survivor Series. He's a free agent, and he was just on Raw. You can't... That's dumb.
Yeah, he's been doing more on Raw lately than that. I mean, Plus, that doesn't show that SmackDown Live is a superior brand, because they can't even get 5 people that are only SmackDown people to represent them. They have to pull in the free agent. But this also brings something up. We talked about last week that the poster was released. It was Brock Lesnar versus Jinder Mahal with Cena as the guest referee. Well, ironically, now that there's a match people want to see in the main event, as in Brock Lesnar versus AJ Styles, all of a sudden they don't feel the need to throw Cena in there as the referee to get people to watch it, and now he's free to do something else. I'm pretty sure that's what happened, and they needed him to be on the show, so they threw him in there, in the SmackDown Live spot. I mean, that's my best guess. Because unless he's going to referee the AJ Styles Brock match also, which he could do, but that just seems ridiculous. Last one I'm going to do is a positive one. This one's from Rory Karpf. Rory Karpf helped do the 30 for 30 ESPN Nature Boy special, all about Ric Flair, which I really want to see. I have not seen yet. I really want to see it. But Rory Karpf wrote, Undertaker brewed coffee and had snacks for the entire crew. One of the nicest people I've ever interviewed, with the hashtag Nature Boy. Man, it's good to know that Taker, he's still out there. He's still representing himself well. He's still representing wrestlers well. He's just
standing up for the guys in the back, man. That's classic Undertaker.
Yeah, no matter what. I mean, you can. There's so many negative things you can say about different people. Paige being one of them. Oh, I don't even have that in the news and notes. I suppose we should touch on that coming up. But Undertaker, I mean, he's just always been that straight-laced, straightforward, positive example for us pro wrestling fans. So good for you, Undertaker. I still expect him to be back pretty soon. And you know what? I don't have this on here either, but I'm going to talk about this. So there's a tweet going around. The Young Bucks retweeted it. It was Undertaker coming out of a Subway joint, and he had on a Young Bucks t-shirt, the Bullet Club style Young Bucks t-shirt, and they retweeted it, and everybody's talking about it. No, could Undertaker go to Undertaker ain't going anywhere. If he's done with WWE, he's done. Okay, right. That's the bottom line. But that, I don't know if the Bucks did it. I think they got it from somebody else. I think it was tweeted to them and they retweeted it. But that was actually a picture of Undertaker coming out of a Subway with a black t-shirt with a gun in the American flag type, where it's like, stars and then the stripes and the blue and
right.
So from us here at Beef Sticks, you know what we say, Undertaker, we won't hold that shirt against you. We still love and respect you. Because as soon as that fucking picture came out, there's no denying that Undertaker voted Trump. I mean,
right.
The only kind of people that wear an American flag. I mean, it wasn't like a pistol either, a rifle. It was a assault rifle gun with the American flag emblem on it. And yeah, so we right there, folks. He voted Trump. I mean, there's just no way around it.
Sans or buts.
If you want. No, there isn't. There is a picture that I forgot a whole segment to write down here, but I already have it down for us. So if you want to start carrying us into the news, I'm going to get that picture to you, because it's a picture I want you to end up putting up on the YouTubers, and we'll explain it. But we need it. So if you want to get into the news and rumors,
and so I shall oblige.
I'll start playing around with my shit and see where I put this picture.
Yeah, you play
or
around
if I gotta
with
read
shit.
it.
Just keep it away from the microphone.
Oh, it's actually right there. I'll just send it to you over that. But go ahead and get us started.
All right.
First in the news, Alpha versus Omega. Our leading story tonight, Chris Jericho to face Kenny Omega January 4th in the Tokyo Dome, live at Wrestle Kingdom 12. Holy shit, folks. Nobody saw this one coming, even after the Twitter feud that we've been talking about for weeks. This is insane. Chris Jericho, we thought he was on his way back to WWE. Nope, he is headed to New Japan. They have both been going back and forth on social media, as we covered in our two tweet segments. And most thought it was either self-promotion or would lead to a match on Jericho's upcoming Rock and Wrestling cruise, which is exactly what I thought. But I'm starting to think this cruise is a big fuck you to Vince, and we'll see what comes from it. Which will feature musical performances and wrestling matches on the high seas. But on this weekend's NJPW Power Struggle show, Jericho appeared on the screen and called out Omega.
It has been common knowledge that Jericho does not have a current contract with WWE. He has mentioned that on his podcast from time to time. And this would and has allowed Chris to participate in things other than WWE superstars are prohibited from doing. It was reported earlier this week that WWE was not informed of the upcoming match and found out the same way all of us fans did. Great. That's the way it should be. But a Tokyo sports official in an interview with Kenny Omega said, although Jericho is not full-time, he still has a deal with WWE. So, of course, Vince President McMahon is also giving permission for this entry, although the real intention is not certain. Is this WWE baiting the proverbial hook? Or how could the E not be interested in the cleaner? You know, it's something. It's something.
It is. It's, oh man, something.
It's huge. I mean, it's fucking huge.
New Japan's been making moves in the U.S., and trying to get a market in the United States. And they had their G4. They had some of their G4 shows were taped here in the United States. They have a United States title now, which is what Kenny Omega is the champion of. So I don't think it's been announced that that's going to be on the line, but I would assume that that title will be on the line. So yeah, this is huge for them. Well, I mean, what was your first thought, man?
I think it was something along the lines of screaming like a 13-year-old girl and with a mixture of fuck yeah. I'm not happy because I was really looking forward to him returning to WWE soon, but this is gonna make some weird things happen, and I'm very interested in what's to come.
Well, there's a couple things to take out of that report as well as other stuff, but on that report it said that Chris Jericho is still under WWE contract, according to the
he's not
Tokyo
under the
Sports
contract, but he has a deal with them.
Yeah, so one thing I was gonna say when I first heard this, reports were coming out. Did he tell Vince? Didn't he tell Vince? Then reports came out that WWE didn't know about it. If he has a deal with them, he definitely had to talk to them before it happened. I mean, he's too much of a professional.
Right.
I honestly think, though, that Jericho, being the professional he is, and I don't know him or Vince McMahon personally, but just hearing Jericho talk like on his shows and other things and stuff that's happened in the past, I think even if WWE officials weren't made aware of it, that at least Vince, he just went to Vince and said, Vince, they asked me to do this, I'm going to do this. And Vince probably gave his blessing. Maybe nobody else in the company knew, but I would be surprised if Jericho didn't do that.
Of course, it would make Vince happy because all the people in Japan who are uncertain about Jericho or become raving Jericho fans will have to buy into the WWE network in order to watch his archived history.
Could this be a move to try to lure Kenny Omega to the WWE? You get to wrestle one of our guys and look at how much exposure you're getting and look at how good some of our guys are. Come over. Maybe have Chris Jericho talk about the positives and butter him up, I mean, Vince could be sending him in on a recon mission.
I don't know. I don't think Omega's headed to WWE yet. I still think we got a few years at least.
I agree 100%. I don't think he's headed there. I do think they are interested in him right now, though.
Well, you'd be a fool not to be.
Yeah. So I think they're interested in him. I'm fairly certain he does not have a contract with New Japan. And if he does have a deal with WWE, then he definitely doesn't have a contract with New Japan. But he doesn't need one. New Japan brings people from other promotions all the time, and they do interpromotional stuff. They're really good at that.
Yeah.
I like them about that. And, you talked about this rock and wrestling cruise. I have heard from multiple sources, and it's pointless now because this is going on, but that originally it was actually going to be NXT wrestlers wrestling on there. But then Vince ended up pulling out at some point saying, no, he didn't want his wrestlers gone for that long, didn't want to put them in that environment, didn't this or that or whatever. But when Jericho first came up with this idea, at least on his end, it was going to be NXT wrestlers wrestling there. So that's neat to note. They are going to have, what do they call it? They got a name for it right now, but they're doing a tournament, the cruise tournament or something. That's going to be there that the Young Bucks are going to be a part of, and Kenny Omega is going to be a part of that. Kenny Omega is going to be on that cruise, so
I'm telling you, we got to buy tickets, homie. We gotta, or get press passes.
I would love to. I've never been on a cruise before. I would love to go. Plus, there's some good comedians. I believe Jim Brewer, not Jim Brewer, I can't think of the guy's name. The stoner from
Jim Brewer.
It is Jim Brewer. Okay, yeah. Jim Brewer. I said the stoner. You knew who I'm talking about. Jim Brewer's going to be there and a few other guys doing stand-up. There's going to be some musical acts there. There's going to be wrestling. There's going to be a lot going on there. I think it'll be a good cruise for sure. Interesting. I mean, like you said, we have been talking about it, and I even said,
if they're a cruise on international waters, there is no laws. Contracts don't stand, really.
When you're on a cruise, you're bound by the laws where that cruise set off from. When you're on the actual cruise itself, you're on the soil of whatever nation that cruise liner belongs to. You're on that nation. But yeah, hey man, anything goes, right? It's a Jericho cruise. Talking shop, baby. They need to get Sex Ferguson on there and fucking rock bastards up. This is cool. This is a dream match. Both of these guys are from Ontario. I mean, they're from the same place. They've never wrestled each other before. And yeah, when we were doing the tweets for the last couple of weeks, I honestly thought it was just them having fun. I thought maybe they were going to do the cruise thing, but
right.
Didn't expect it. Wrestle Kingdom 12. Shit. I can't wait for it. I mean, amongst other things, they got Kazuchika Okada versus Naito, and those are my top 2 wrestlers in New Japan right now, with Omega probably coming in at 3. So you're going to have Omega versus Jericho on there also. I mean, it's looking to be one hell of a match. I mean, one hell of a card. It is going to be... It's going to be an amazing card. I mean, there's just
Chris
no
Jericho's
doubts about it.
Sting-esque hairstyle now, too.
So, hey, you know what? I talk about retractions when we report something wrong. We reported something a while back that I think most people agreed was what the truth was. And we're talking about Chris Jericho, so I'm going to bring it up real quick and we'll move on. But it's involving Austin Aries. Now, we had said that one of the major reasons that Austin Aries left WWE and was unhappy in WWE was because he was on the pre-show of WrestleMania, and maybe not even so much that he was on the pre-show, but that he didn't get any royalties from being on the DVD since he was on the pre-show. And that made sense because he had put out a tweet saying WrestleMania 33 is released in Canada today. Too bad I'm not even on it. And that's what he wrote. Well, he was on Talk is Jericho this last week. And Jericho talked to him about his release. And he said, you know what? It had nothing to do with that. And he said, let me tell you something. I hate to put the cat out of the bag, but every now and then people pay me to tweet stuff. And he said, I was paid to tweet that WrestleMania Blu-ray was coming out in Canada. He said, so I went to tweet that, but I wanted to tweet it in my character. And I said, how would my character say this? And he said, and then I went and thought, and I was like, you know what? Let me see if the show's on there. And he looked at the listings and it wasn't. And he said he wanted to put that on there because it was a heel thing to say. And he said in his mind, that didn't bother him at all. He also mentioned he would have been more than happy to stay and he wasn't unhappy there. and that anything they would have given him to do, he would have been happy with, but they had nothing for him to do, so he was more than happy to leave also. So there you go, folks. Cleared up from the man himself. Had nothing to do with the royalties.
Class act, that Austin Aries.
You can understand why we all thought it was. A double A. Some would say the greatest man who ever lived.
Him and his bananas.
So, he talked about that too. It's funny. I told Vince, I got this banana thing. And Vince just laughed at me. And I was like, no, it's not really a thing. I just eat a banana every now and then. He's like, Vince didn't get it. I was like, that's the thing. It's not a thing. Oh. Moving along. Brothers no longer bludgeon? What? So at Wednesday night's WWE live event from Leeds, England, Harper and Rowan were back in action, but there was no sign of the Bludgeon Brothers gimmick. There were no hammers at all. They came out to Luke Harper's entrance music, not the redone Bludgeon Brothers music. The team was introduced simply as Eric Rowan and Luke Harper, and they competed in their classic ring attire. They're like, Wyatt family attire, rather than the Bludgeon Brother attire. It remains to be seen why they dropped the Bludgeon Brothers gimmick so abruptly, but Beefsticks is going to keep an eye on the story and will post updates after their next match on the tour. This could simply be a case of them maybe trying something new on untaped shows. Maybe they're trying to see which gets over better. We'll do Bludgeon Brothers at this taping. We'll do non-Bludgeon Brothers at this taping. What kind of reaction are we getting?
Anything goes necessarily... at a house show. I don't think they're scrapped because they had a brand new promo on SmackDown. Granted, that was Tuesday morning.
Right.
But
why would you have the promo if you're going to be cutting the gimmick?
Right. And I think you'd at least have a good inkling by then.
Yeah. So that's my guess. Or maybe it even goes to the fact that I don't know if they've wrestled as the Bludgeon Brothers since they've been in England, but maybe they just forgot to pack the new stuff, or maybe the sound guy doesn't. Well, now
security wouldn't let them bring the hammers in because it was weapons.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? From what I've heard from all the reports, that they've never brought hammers to the ring yet in any of the house shows. So that's not even a telltale there. I do hope when they first come on TV, they bring their damn hammers.
They need to be smashing people with hammers. Granted, the hammers are probably not real or very padded, but they need to hit people with the hammer like they're smashing them with a sledgehammer.
They need to start Gallaghering it and bring like watermelons and cantaloupes to the ring and stuff and just splatter them. That could be a finisher. They set a guy up in a corner and then they put a table with a watermelon in front of him and they hit it and the watermelon splatters them and they sell it like crazy. Flip over the turnbuckle, fall on the ground shaking, watermelon seeds all over them.
Blood packets. They got to apply blood packets.
You've heard of a corner splash.
But not like this.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's I think it's like I said, I think we're just going to have to keep trying to, I'm going to keep looking at reports of when they're on house shows and see how they're coming up. They might have pulled it. This wouldn't be the first time WWE has pulled gimmicks like that.
Especially when it comes to the Wyatts.
Even with having a bunch of packages and stuff, they had the Emelina thing and they didn't know what to do with that and they pulled it. I remember, this isn't so much packages, but when Rusev got back from injury, he did like 2 or 3 interviews where he was talking to Daniel Bryan and he kept saying, I'll only return when I get a title match. I will never wrestle for you until I get it. In the next interview, he'd be like, you can't have Rusev till I get what I want. I'm getting a title match. And then like 3 weeks, he wasn't on TV at all. And then the next week he came out in a regular old fucking match and hasn't had a title match since.
Right. He's been fighting Randy Orton ever since.
They don't give a shit, and that's okay. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. KO, go home. That's my best ET impression. I don't know. KO, go home. No, that isn't ET.
That was still better. That was still better.
Was it?
At first, you sounded Mexican.
for a long time. That was E.T. the extra testicle, from Cheech and Chong. I hope the folks listening to this know E.T. the extra testicle, because that was hilarious. Maybe, that was my E.T. It was a perfect E.T., just not the extraterrestrial. KO, go home. It was reported yesterday by PW Insider, authentic report, not one made up by folks on a tweet, that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were sent home, like sent back to the States, like got on a plane, shipped out with their gear and everything from WWE's ongoing European tour. Apparently, the two are being disciplined for conduct deemed detrimental to the WWE, which, folks, as I read on, you'll see that's kind of a strong wording for it, but they probably just have broad terms for, you have to give an official reason.
Right.
But it is pretty shitty if this is true. The issue is that Owens and Zayn were going into business for themselves, as in during their on-air segment this last Tuesday, live from Manchester, Owens and Zayn went off script following Sami's match against Kofi Kingston. What happened was Kevin Owens entered the ring after the match and attacked Kofi, and that was planned, apparently. But according to Pro Wrestling Sheet, Owens and Zayn were supposed to stay in there and then get beat down by the entire New Day, all three of them.
Yeah.
But instead, they left the ring abruptly and left the New Day wondering what was going on.
What they were supposed to do, it wasn't even so much the beatdown. They were told to do the Kevin Owens thing, where you're walking away from the ring and you turn around, you charge back, but you stop. And then you charge back, but you stop. That's what they were told to do, and they didn't do it. So they walked out. Sound didn't even cue Kevin Owens' music, New Day's music. No. Nobody knew what was going on because they went that far off quote-unquote script.
Well, and I went back and watched it, and even Big E, you kept seeing him almost like maybe he thinks they forgot, because he's like, come on, you gonna come and get me? Come on. And then he's like, you coming in? At one time, I think he just said, you coming in? Because he was talking to Sami, because Owens was on the ramp and Sami was still on the ring side.
Yeah.
And you could tell they're supposed to be doing something. And he's like, come on, you coming in, huh? You gonna get me? And he's kind of like, you coming in? And he looked kind of like, come on. And he said that like 8 times in a row. So, he wasn't that, he didn't know what to do either. He was kind of stuck. Apparently the decision to suspend them was reportedly approved by Vince McMahon, and they flew back to the United States today.
There's a lot of speculation and arguing going on right now, and a lot of people, and I think I agree with this, because lately they've been pulling psychology that's even over our heads, and I think for them to send them home is great for storyline the way the internet world builds it. They got sent home.
See, but I believe that WWE is working on things that the internet's saying, but I still don't. I think smart marks want to be more smarter than they really are, and so they keep saying things like, oh, they're doing this so that we'll report it, so that they'll do this. I don't think that's the case. I don't think they would send home 2 of their biggest names from one of their biggest tours of the year just to get the internet buzzing. I don't believe that for a second. I can see why people would think that, but that just, I think WWE is better. I think they react at stuff that happens on the internet, but I don't think they're pulling the strings, so to speak. I would be really surprised if they wasted that much money to try to get the internet buzzing a little bit. They could be. They could be. I'll give you that.
It's not the first time they've done something like this.
I would be very much surprised.
They've gone so far as to changing the dreaded X. The dreaded X isn't the real sign for injury anymore. They're trying to do things to pull things over our heads so that we're more interested.
Yeah, but that's something to change us from knowing. You're saying they did this so that we'd think that this is happening. You're saying they did something they did.
Yeah.
You're saying WWE did this. Changing the X is WWE stopping us from knowing this. You're saying they did this so that we'd see that they got sent home.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying, which I don't think that's the same kind of mentality as when Triple H always says you know, our whole plan with Daniel Bryan was to bury him and get the crowd behind him, and then we were always going to have him at WrestleMania. No, you weren't. You are not that smart. You don't think that far ahead, and you don't have that much faith in people.
I think sometimes they have to, and I think that this is one of those times that they actually hit the button.
I will say this doesn't seem like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens type of demeanor.
No, they're both company
like
guys.
That. And to be heels and to get beat down by 3 people instead of 2 isn't even that big of a deal.
Right.
So I will give you that, but we'll see.
Well, and the psychology behind whatever they called it, I don't think they called it fluffing, but they called it, there was a term for it. But the psychology behind it is the heel does that when he thinks he can fake them out and gain the advantage running in the ring. And Kevin Owens, being that heel, knows for a fact that he wouldn't gain the advantage against 3 people. So it's stupid to do that spot in a spot where it doesn't fit.
Possibly. They've done dumber shit. They just had Ellsworth versus Becky Lynch in a match where one contestant couldn't even touch the other one.
No, neither of them really touched each other. They didn't do anything that could potentially hurt each other. It was stupid. It was like a dance.
It was a clumsy, slow dance when neither one of them were in sync with each other.
Yeah.
It was just awful.
It was pretty terrible.
Just awful. Believe that. Moving on. Roman Reigns, it appears, has been cleared to return to action as WWE is promoting his return at Monday's Raw from Atlanta. Will he just make an appearance or will he get physical? As of now, he has been replaced. As of now, he has been replaced on Team Raw by Jason Jordan. That is official. But could we see him in a different role in Survivor Series, Pasty?
Of course. It's if you don't see this coming from a mile away, you got to be blind. Shield.
We got 3 guys that are open right now. Yeah, we got 3 guys that are open now because they lost the title. And we got 3 guys that were forced into doing nothing because one guy wasn't there and he's back in the fold. New Day versus Shield. And it should be a great match.
Hell yeah.
It should be.
I'm looking forward to seeing the Shield, seeing the Shield win. We'll go that route.
I will say, man, I'm glad we're both on the same page because, folks, we didn't discuss this beforehand. In fact, we kind of got a late start and we were getting a lot of things going, and I still forgot one segment that I just put in while we were live on the air. So we didn't even talk about this ahead of time. So I'm glad you and I are on the same page on that New Day Shield match. I think you do it.
Oh, yeah. You have to.
I think it works.
You have to.
I don't know that Jason Jordan being in the Raw team for Survivor Series, you know what, he can be the guy that goes out first or something, you know. I don't know. Now for Sin Doria. For those of you who don't know and don't speak Spanish, that is no knee. And I'm saying that because our good friend Sin Cara, and for those of you who don't speak Spanish, that's his name actually means no face. Which is one of my favorite characters in Spirited Away, by the way. No Face, awesome. Shout out to Spirited Away. I missed it in theaters this year, but I seen it last year with my son in theaters and hope to see it next year in theaters. I'll see it every year in theaters if I can. Anyway, Sin Cara has suffered a major knee injury. Pasty.
Yes.
While I'm talking on that, you want to get that picture that I sent you and pop it up for our folks that have YouTube?
I can do that.
So they can look at this because it's I'm gonna tell you right now, folks, if you're squeamish, it isn't bloody or nothing sticking out, but it does not look good. So if you get the heebie-jeebies easy, you might not want to look at it.
It's already up. It's too late.
He suffered a major knee injury while performing in front of a house show in Spain. Sin Cara had fallen awkwardly during his triple threat match with Baron Corbin and Sami Zayn, who is now sent home for hurting fucking poor Sin Cara, the bastard. Reports state that the superstar seemed to be in immense pain and was seen clutching his leg even as the match rolled on before Sin Cara had to signal for medical help. His injury was so severe he needed help backstage as a shoot, not a work. If you can see that picture right there,
ow.
Your leg doesn't bend that way. It's not meant to bend that way. I had a Stretch Armstrong back in the day that I could do that too.
Baron Corbin's standing on his foot.
I know, right? That big fucking oaf.
This looks very on purpose on Corbin's part right here.
I would hope not. I think he's still just green. I think he still makes a lot of mistakes he shouldn't make. And maybe it wasn't even his fault. You never know.
Damn it, Corbin, you're turning into the Ryback of this era.
Or, Sin Cara just happens to get injured every other fucking month after he's back, so you can't really give Corbin all the blame for this. Sin Cara is a fucking master at getting injured. I don't know. You got anything more to say about this?
It looks like it fucking hurts. Just
It
look at
does
that
look like
fucking
it hurts.
curvature. The ankle to the knee. Ow.
I didn't get that, did I?
That would not be fun.
Well, if we're done talking about that, let's talk about domestic excuse. Yes, friends, Alberto El Patron, beloved by many, a beef sticker, returned to Impact Wrestling at Bound for Glory last Sunday, which, by the way, is a pretty decent show. If you get a chance, the main event was awesome till the end. There's some good matches in there. Anyways, he made his return at Bound for Glory, but he spent roughly 10 minutes talking, not setting up a new angle, not to put his character over, not to do anything else other than to vent about how pissed he is that he was wronged by being suspended for his domestic abuse charges, and blamed all the people in the back, talked about how shitty he was treated. People didn't call me or text me, and they don't give me the benefit of the doubt, and they believe whatever they read, and blah, 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 blah. They don't care about my family. They didn't pay me. They don't care about the family you're punching, dude. Then he went to the announce desk and physically intimidated Jeremy Borash, which was uncomfortable, whether this was a work or not. If you have the chance to go back and just watch him and Jeremy Borash is an extremely talented guy, but I don't think he's as good of an actor as if he is, bravo, because I really thought the way Borash was talking, which wasn't normal, and the way Alberto was moving and Borash was moving, it looked like Alberto Del Rio was just bullying Borash live on TV, and Borash seemed really scared. And the weirdest part was Matt Stryker's right beside him, who is a former wrestler, and Stryker's just like, at one point he's like, Matt, help. And Stryker won't even look at Alberto and doesn't like he's sitting there like, dude, I'm not getting into this physical alteration for you. This is an MMA fighter. I'm not fucking around with this guy. So I don't know. It could have all been a work, the Jeremy Borash thing. I don't think him coming out there and burying the company for 10 minutes was a work by no means. Then again, it is Impact Wrestling. They might have signed off on it. I don't know.
Right?
What are your thoughts on this, Pasty? I know, I'm pretty sure you didn't see the angle.
I did not.
That's what it was. He was cussing up and down. He was just...
I think they just need to play Patron's coke addiction into his gimmick. Sell him as Scarface, you know what I mean? And it could be good.
Right? Right? Pull the old Razor Ramon. Isn't it weird how many people that grew up in the 80s never realized the connection between Razor Ramon and cocaine?
Right. He was Scarface.
I know, right? What do you do with a razor? That kind of razor that he had on his tights, you don't use to shave your fucking face. You cut cocaine with it, you fuckers. That's where it came from. Vince never knew that. I've heard, or at least according to Scott Hall,
Vince never knew that. Where he's like, I'm sure he was doing cocaine with Razor Ramon back in the day.
Oh, I'm sure he did, but he never got the connection. He said Vince had never even heard of the movie Scarface. And he said Vince had no idea there was a connection between Razor and Scarface, the coke dealer. He just thought it was like a cool name. I can't see Vince back there with a razor cutting cocaine. He buys the pre-cut and good powder shit that he just gets to fucking snort just like that. He's got that dispenser where he just pops it out and, you know, it just pops out the right amount. Or them little they got them little things that are like when you got allergies, but they got them for Coke where it just gives the perfect amount. Woo! Yeah. Oh yeah, I know Vincent Hogan did a lot of Coke together, man. I tell you what. Why am I not looking for this? I should be looking for this.
What are you looking for?
But we're gonna move on to TNA. How was that for a Canadian accent? TNA. 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 Till you give me some feedback, I'm gonna keep saying TNA.
Keep going.
TNA. TNA.
I just think it's got too much grit in it for Canada. There you go.
TNA. TNA. Anyways, speaking of the former TNA, at last night's tapings in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, Impact announcer Jeremy Borash, who was just bullied by our good friend Alberto El Patron, told the audience that Impact Wrestling was now a Canadian-based company. They are no longer a United States company. That doesn't mean that anything changes here in the United States necessarily, other than maybe some touring. But they weren't really doing touring anyways. At least not in the last couple years.
Yeah.
Now, Toronto, Ontario is the home city of Anthem Sports and Entertainment, who owns Impact Wrestling right now. And they can eliminate the offices in Nashville altogether now and run out of Anthem's home office. Plus, for a company that's struggling to get past the financial burdens of past managements, the relocation to Anthem's home country and home city will offer far more tax advantages going forward. This decision is most likely the reason why all of the Impact referees were let go last week, which was something we were going to talk about today, but this answers that question. And Brian Hebner. And Brian Stifler, who's been with them since like the beginning. Because it would mean having to fly all these referees to Canada on and off on a more ongoing basis rather than working centrally in the Orlando area. So basically, my guess is they sat down with the referees and said, hey, we can't pay for you to travel here. So you're either traveling on your dime, moving here, or we have to let you go. And I'm sure the referees said, that's fine, we'll go. That's my guess. I don't think it was a thing like, I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm just saying that. Moving on, another possible bonus with Anthem's Fight Network airing shows from Smash Wrestling, and Super Kicked, which is Anthem's also, airing on the Global Wrestling Network, which is GFW's or Impact's. I guess Impact owns that network, the Global Wrestling Network. Yeah, they're basically their WWE network. And Impact's own Scott D'Amore has Border City Wrestling just a few hours away in Windsor, Ontario. There's really no shortage of promotions able to offer content for appearances. So that means that when these wrestlers aren't working for Impact, they can be hitting up all these other shows and making money other than only being able to work for Impact. Similar to the past few weeks, Impact Wrestling stars Moose, Eddie Edwards, Petey Williams, and Rosemary all appeared for other indie promotions in the area. So it could be a positive for the workers also. Because Impact doesn't do house shows and they don't do traveling, they only do TV tapings. If they want to stick around in the area, they can just work for a bunch of these other promotions and keep getting paid.
It's a pretty sweet deal, I guess.
I don't know that it's sweet, but I think it's better than not. It's better than having to do all these TV tapings and not having anything to do then for 3 months in between.
Well, being prominent, because they would be one of the more prominent wrestling promotions in Canada, they would have easier access to a lot of upcoming talent, the likes that WWE might have got their hands on instead. You know what I mean? There's a lot of good wrestlers that come out of Canada.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
And
definitely. I mean,
I think you're
look
very
at
advantageous.
Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega.
Right. Just to name two of a lot. Kevin Owens. Fucking Sami Zayn.
Bret Hart. All of the Harts. Natalia Hart.
Jinder Mahal.
Tyson Kidd. Yeah. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on of Canadian athletes that are just damned amazing. Damned amazing.
And Brock Lesnar's home based out of Canada these days. So could we see him going to TNA?
He is. He lives in Canada. Him and Sable. Yeah. I think he's gonna go there. Him and John Cena will probably go there. Try to get in on the ground floor. John in on the ground floor.
He's a free agent.
Dun, 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 dun. A lot of people consider this like another TNA is still failing. They are going down.
They're setting themselves up to fail less hard.
Yeah, this is a super smart move financially wise. Yeah. I mean, super smart move. I see this move as being a complete positive. It's because things are going rough that they have to make this move.
The question is, why the fuck haven't they done this already? You know what I mean? Why are they just waiting till now? Why didn't they do this when they first signed on with Anthem? I'm sure the option was on the table.
There might be, I don't know, I've never owned a company, but there are things that Anthem had to do in advance. I don't know. Or maybe they thought that they could build it up and they didn't want to move away. They had plans of grandeur and expected to be able to build it up soon enough. Maybe. You don't know. I don't know. I agree with you. They could have saved a lot of money doing it earlier. Then again, I don't know. They had dates that they had to fulfill, and they just made their way up to Canada recently. So maybe they were just waiting to do their dates they already had planned until they got up to Canada. I honestly don't know. If I knew what Impact Wrestling was going through in their head, man, holy. Yet I don't. A couple more things to run through on the news.
Or next month when TNA joins their new home in Liberia.
Right? Moscow, Russia. Impact Wrestling. Wrestling for ruples. I can see it now. The Siberian title. That one title's changed names so many times, they can make it the Siberian title. Why not?
All they gotta do, really, is move to the Democratic Republic of Congo. And then they'd be the richest people in the poorest country in the world. Then they could feel good about themselves.
That is true. That is very true.
I guess that's a new fact to me. I didn't realize the Congo was the poorest country in the world. But DRC citizens earn an average of $394.25 a year.
See, they say that, but I watched the movie Congo, and somewhere there's that city of Zinj,
right,
with all of the gold.
They got talking monkeys, man.
Yeah, the city of Zinj is there somewhere. Along with Tim Curry trying to eat sesame cake. I like that movie. Everybody hates that movie. I like that movie. I don't know why everybody hates that movie.
As a child, I liked the movie, kind of. I really liked the beginning part that was really scary, and then the eyeball comes flying back out. As a kid, I was like, holy shit! Did I just see that? And then the rest of the movie was kind of boring. Intense at times. I don't hate it. I have the book.
The book is really good, but the book you can really get into the minds of everybody. It's pretty, yeah. But I mean, and it's a Michael Crichton book, I'm pretty sure.
Yes,
right?
Yes, it is. One of the favorite authors of my youth.
Can't go wrong with Michael Crichton. Fun little trivia. Talking about that opening segment with the eyeball. Do you remember who? Do you know who the boyfriend was that got killed right in that opening segment? Do you know who the actor was?
I haven't watched that movie in so long. Since I was a kid.
One of the greatest campy actors of all time, Bruce Campbell.
There you go.
He's on there for like 5-10 minutes.
That was the first time I ever knew the real shape of an eyeball. One time.
I watched a Comic-Con interview that he did one time. And a fan asked him, why the fuck did you do Congo? That was exactly what they said. And he said, listen here. Hold on. Do they got an IMDb for Congo? He was like, so imagine that somebody comes up to you and they said, hey, we want you to be in this movie. We've got a budget for it. You're like, all right, I like that. It's based off a Michael Crichton book. Oh, yeah. All right. I like that.
Jurassic Park did really well.
Frank Marshall's directing. Oh, Frank Marshall. Yeah. Frank Marshall. We'll do that. We've got Laura Linney, Tim, all sorts of people. Oh, yeah. Sounds great. We're going to film in this exotic location, on location. Of course. I'm sold. Wouldn't you? I mean... on paper, it sounds amazing.
Right.
You know what? It's not a great movie, but I still think it's a good movie.
Yeah, I like it.
I don't think it's the horrible disaster that everybody makes it out to be, but Tim Curry sells it for me. I do not like the lead male.
No.
The lead male actor, I don't like at all. And to be honest, the monkey is annoying. Amy.
Yeah.
Amy, pretty, or whatever the fuck. Yeah, she was fucking annoying. But other than that, I liked it. Bullshit Club.
You know, I watched this video clip. I was fairly amused. It wasn't the greatest.
Yeah.
But it was fairly amusing.
Guys that aren't even that relevant on the indies trying to get relevant again, and you can't blame them.
Right.
So, folks, what we're talking about is Shad Jaspar and JTG, also known as Crime Time from the WWE, have been calling out the Young Bucks recently. They have, I think, 3 videos out now that they've done. I think they put them up on Twitter.
Well,
you can find them on YouTube or anywhere. And they're wearing poop emoji masks. And they've made a Bullet Club style shirt that says Bullshit Club. And they're saying things like, I know you got muscles, but in New Japan, all you need to get over is super kicks and tassels. And they're calling out the Young Bucks for a match at Wrestle Kingdom 12. Not a match I'm excited to see, but I'd watch it.
It's a match you're gonna see.
I like JTG. I was fond of him. Shad Jaspar was never my favorite guy, but I thought if JTG was in WWE now, he'd be good in the 205 Live.
Yeah, I like JTG.
He'd be good.
I'm surprised they're still together. You'd think JTG would have learned to go his own way.
I don't know that either one can do much better without the other. I think all they are is their gimmick. I mean, JTG probably could. But it's tough out there in the indies. There's a lot of people, a lot of good guys out there to make a name for yourself, man. Not everyone's the next Matt Riddle. Sorry, folks. I'm steaming up my own glasses here. I'm getting so hot under the collar.
Warming up.
Steam rises to the top. Oh yeah, funky monkey. I was listening to a lot of old audio clips today, folks. I was got machos in my head. Everywhere, machos. So as we alluded to earlier, the champ that runs the camp is back.
I hope he doesn't use that phrase again, because I didn't like it in the first place.
It's a play on his face that runs the place. I don't know what else you can say.
It's
the title holder, who's bigger and bolder.
I would like that better.
The championship who owns a gimp.
Ship and gimp don't rhyme.
Yeah, good enough.
The championship who holds the chips.
Maybe we should go into business writing phrases for AJ Styles.
We could do better than him. He's not that good at gimmickizing things, really.
I don't know, man. That beat up John Cena. I don't know if that was him or if that was the brothers.
Was totally the Good Brothers.
But man, that was over like Rover, baby. So like we said, he won the title. So I wanted to take a little bit of time here. This is news. It's big news that this happened. So let's get your thoughts. Let's get my thoughts. First, let's start with the question: what reasons may have led to this? Now, if you folks don't know by now, this isn't just two people going out there and fighting their hardest to see who is the best fighter. Somebody backstage with a pen and paper decided AJ Styles was going to win this title over Jinder Mahal. So, let's start with you, man. What reasons do you think may have led to this? There's many possibilities. I don't know that any of them are right. What's some stuff you think of offhand?
You know, I've been on the side of Jinder not using steroids and not juicing, so I don't think it's a wellness policy violation. I do think Brock Lesnar was a little underwhelmed with who he was going to be facing at one of his few matches in the year. That's the side that I'm with, because it seems most logical to me. And with everything that AJ Styles has done for the company in the last few weeks, he should be inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. So why not just put him in the Survivor Series match against Brock Lesnar? Congratulations, AJ. You are John Cena already.
The champ that runs the camp.
Right. You could just take the face that runs the place. At this point, John Cena's an afterthought. You are the guy that sacrifices everything for the benefit of the company. Have it all. Yeah. What is your theory?
First of all, with what you just said, isn't it sad that the guy who's probably the best replacement for John Cena is like the same age as John Cena?
Right.
That's sad. You want a nice young up-and-comer, but AJ is the best replacement for him.
He's still got some years in, though. I think he's got more years than Cena does.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I think, like you said, I honestly don't think it is steroids. I don't doubt that he got steroids to get to where he is.
I'm willing to bet it wasn't something that was on the spectrum that they'd be looking for because it's cutting edge and new.
That's a possibility.
That's not illegal.
You got it. He shipped it over from Canada. Everybody's getting their drugs from Canada. Got it from Canada. And I don't think it's an injury. I think a few things are coming into play. I know ratings are down and Jinder's segments are down. Social media is not high on Jinder, and the India market is down since Jinder has been champ. So I think they gave him more than the benefit of the doubt. I think they realized, from what I heard, Survivor Series ticket sales were way behind what was expected at this point. And I think Vince wants to shake shit up. And this is one of the big four. He wants it to be big. Was Brock bitching about it or not? Brock faced Braun Strowman, who in a shitty match that couldn't work. Brock faced Dean Ambrose in a match where Brock just ignored everything that Dean wanted to do. I think if you pay Brock, I think he'll do it. If you told Brock to go in there and fucking have James Ellsworth in him, I think he'd do it. I think Brock only wants the fucking paycheck.
I really want to see that.
I don't think he cares about his quote-unquote gimmick. I think his gimmick is the real-life Brock Lesnar, and I don't think he cares. But that being said, I mean, I think it's all just where the numbers are at this point. I really don't think it's politicking in the back. It could be. If I was Brock, I wouldn't be happy with headlining with Jinder, and it could have been, with everybody getting ill and they're moving people here and there, and they were like, well, maybe they wanted to sell with John Cena, but they wanted to pull Cena to fill in on the SmackDown spot, and then they were like, well, we don't think that this is a strong enough match on papers, so...
Honestly, I don't know.
I think that's what it comes down to. I think they've realized that it just isn't working.
Looks at himself and knows that his career is not going to last forever. And I think he's realized he's been fighting a bunch of nothing matches, and he probably wants a change, you know? Because you're not going to go out big if you don't go out against the biggest people in the company.
Yeah, that's true. I haven't seen anything in his character that has led me to believe he gives a shit about his wrestling character. I've heard him say he doesn't give a shit about the business, but that's not his character. That's the business as a whole, so that is different. But I think, I mean...
I don't know. I feel like he's changing, though, too, because he's been giving a lot more to people rather than going out and beating everybody's ass. Yeah, he wins in the end, but he's been giving a lot more. I feel like he's changing a little bit. Granted, we're not going to see him every Monday night, but...
I would almost think, coming from your perspective, I could actually see more Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
Who is legitimately Brock Lesnar's manager in WWE and does a lot for him. I could see more Paul Heyman being upset with it and telling Brock, hey, we got to get this changed. More than I could see Brock going out and thinking of it on his own. Like I said, I think Brock doesn't care, but I could see Heyman going, Brock, this is not good for us. We need to talk to them. There's no reason for you to be facing Jinder Mahal. I went out there and did a shoot promo on him and talked about how shitty he was because it's true. So, you know, I could see Heyman maybe being more upset about it than Brock himself.
Yeah.
And then that firing Brock up, maybe.
But no, Brock versus AJ, I don't think we could ask for a better replacement, to be completely honest. That's going to be one hell of a match.
This should be good. I think AJ's going to lose, and that's okay.
Well, yeah.
There's nothing against losing to Brock Lesnar.
He could win.
I hope it's...
I can't wait to see fucking... God damn it.
I want to see AJ put the Styles Classic.
That's what I'm saying. On Brock Lesnar.
Those big ass fucking... I don't think he can spread his legs that wide, dude. That would be entertaining to see. Yes, it would. So we've talked about the reasons that may have led here. So what do we think the future holds? What happens after Survivor Series? And I'm talking not so much the Brock Lesnar side, the WWE World Championship.
Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but from what I've seen is on the upcoming India promotions, it's being billed as two-time WWE champion Jinder Mahal. So I don't think we're out of the woods yet, ladies and gentlemen. I think they're just giving us a gift here, or giving AJ the gift he deserves more so.
You know, I never thought about that, but it could be just it could be a pat on the back for AJ. They could be rewarding AJ. I never even thought of it that way. He would deserve it.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with you. I have read that they're billing him as a two-time champ, but places put out a lot of their own promotion anyways, and we've seen things be wrong 1,001 times. I do think Jinder is winning it back. I think he's winning
it back on Tuesday after the pay-per-view.
No, I think he's winning it. I think he's winning it in India.
I don't know. I feel like AJ is going to get beat down by Brock Lesnar. He's still going to be injured on Tuesday. Jinder's going to try to cash in. Shane's going to be like, no, AJ, you don't have to do this. And AJ's pride's going to be like, I have to do this. And then he's going to lose.
That would make for a good storyline. I could definitely see it. But my money is that he wins it in his hometown, in his homeland, which isn't his homeland, but that's when you get the biggest pop, is winning it in your area, even more than defending it in your hometown. So
yeah,
I can see that. Either way, what you said makes sense. Let's say Braun ends up, hopefully they have a good competitive match. Hopefully Braun doesn't squash him. Or Brock, thank you. One of those big bra words. Big bra.
They both would wear a big bra.
Right? But yeah, I could definitely see Brock beating him down really hard and having, towards the end, he does his 6 suplexes in a row and then hits the F5 and AJ's beat up. And that would be a good reason for AJ to lose because he's beat up and all that. So that would work and I could see it. But I'm going to say they hold off until the India tour and give it to him then. Either way, I think we both think he's going to have it by the turn of the year. Right? We both think Jinder Mahal will have it by the time the new year comes.
For sure.
For sure. All right. We're on to one of the favorite parts of the week. The Jerry of the week.
Jerry of the week.
Kind of got a doozy here, folks. And it's just, as much as I like to defend Impact Wrestling and all of this and everything, this one's pretty bad. And I'll tell you, it's a tweet, but I didn't want to put it in the 2-tweet segment because it's the Jerry of the week. So basically what the deal is Impact Wrestling is paying people to be quote-unquote background actors. Now, to be background actors, what they want them to do is sit in the audience, wear shirts from the wrestlers, and hold up signs and pretend to be amused by the shows. They're basically paying people to come and watch their shows. They're not getting paid for people to watch their shows. They're paying people to watch their shows. This came out from Smythe Casting out of Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, folks. This is an actual release from them. It says, we are currently hiring paid background actors for the following. Must be Ottawa local, non-union only. This is a non-speaking role. Filming dates Tuesday, November 7th through Thursday, November 9th, 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. The pay rate, this is what they're getting paid. $12.50 an hour for 4 hours or $50 per day of work. Anyone 16 years or younger must have a parent and or guardian with them at all times. Makes it look like there's more people there. 50 to 75 people are going to play audience members. All ages, any ethnicity. Bring friends and family. Applications can work more than 1 day, so please mention if you are available to be hired for multiple days. Wardrobe is casual clothing, t-shirts, jeans, sweatshirts, weekend casual, if you will. You may be giving signs to hold. You are encouraged to look at wrestlers on the website, and they give the Impact Wrestling website, and make your own signs. That would be very helpful, it says. And you will get more FaceTime on TV if you have a sign. Impact Wrestling, each day of filming will be 4 hours long. Follow the instructions below. Send an email to these people. And it tells you what to do. And then it puts the website, gives you a link to the website of Impact Wrestling. It's sad that they're paying people to come to their shows. Now, it is good if they are filming to have a lot of people in the audience and with signs and cheering and this and that. But damn, you're supposed to make money doing these shows. I mean, right. $12.50 an hour they're getting paid for 4 hours. That's got to be making more than people spend on that same ticket.
Right. I mean, I guess the hope is you only have to do this for a couple of months and then people start showing up more. But
yes, that is the idea.
Don't make the ad public.
Well, I mean, you kind of have to, I guess, to get people. But
let's sign up.
That's a super Jerry thing to do. All right, Pasty, you and I, we're going to start a wrestling promotion. We're going to get some wrestlers together, get lighting, all this, rings. But how do we get people here? Should we advertise? Fuck that. Let's go to the local casting agent and we'll buy people to watch our shit. That's what we're doing wrong, Pasty. If we want more people watching on YouTube, we got to fucking pay. Here we are asking money, and we should be giving them money. Fuck! I didn't know the business model. I didn't know.
Holy shit.
I didn't know. I'm new to this.
I think if I get a second job, I can make this work, sir.
I don't want to sit and shit on Impact Wrestling because they're trying to make good moves, and you know what? Maybe with the money they're saving moving there, they can do this for a few months, and like you said, their shows will look like everybody's loving it, and it's big, and it'll look better on TV, and
I don't think this week they are the Jerry of the week because they're the idiots, but they're the Jerry of the week because right now I am legitimately sad for them.
Because it's sad. Yeah. It's not like they did something horribly bad. It's just, it's that sad. Right now, I picture that slug when they go to marriage counseling and Beth is the alien's alien and Jerry is that slug. I look at Impact as that slug. It's like, it's not doing anything wrong, but I really pity it. I really pity it.
Sad slug.
Come see? Bree thought the same thing. So we had a Jerry of the week. We have a Rick of the week. And folks, I hope you were paying attention earlier today, because our Rick of the week comes from somebody we talked about earlier today, and for a good reason. Amazingly, we're getting some good news. F4W Online is reporting that not only is that knee injury that we've seen Sin Cara get, the one that you've seen the picture of that looks so gruesome, not only was that a minor injury, but Sin Cara has already been cleared to return to action. Sin Cara ended up only missing one event, the Lisbon, Portugal live event, and he apologized to his fans for missing that one in his tweet that he confirmed his injury. Holy shit. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but when I look at that picture, fucking Sin Cara is the man, especially since he's so injury prone anyways. Right. Injury porn.
That's something I gotta look into.
This motherfucker missed 1 day for that, right? 1 day for that injury? Son of a bitch, I'd be out for months.
He's used up all of his sick days.
Right? My hat comes off to you, Sin Cara. You are the Rick of the week, because that's a Rick move. Break my leg? Fuck it. I'll inject it with this shit and just come right back.
Right. Or in the case of season 3, he'll just get robot body parts.
That too, yeah.
How human is Rick? Is he human?
Well, you got to think about it. We know he had some robot body parts when he was the Rick that we originally seen. But then in the first episode of season 3, he got into a new Rick's body. So remember, season 3, he's been in a new Rick's body. That's our original Rick's mind, but it's a different Rick's body. Because he hopped from body to body to body. Remember that segment?
Yeah.
So then he ended up having like different robotic parts that we hadn't had before. In fact, they showed some x-rays of him, and he had all sorts of shit. He has a bionic eye, and he has something in his leg and stuff like that. And then when he went to Beth's fucking crazy person's place, he got his arm bit off, and he put a new robot arm on there. So he's quite the cyborg. He is quite the android.
What if all Ricks are robots? Have we ever seen a Rick bleed?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have. And we've seen x-rays of them that show bones and metal parts. So yep. So that's what we got for the show today, Pacey. We cut ourselves really early. You know what? I like not having to have these damn shows to talk about every fucking week, because it's hard to get them in. But I guess we didn't have 1,001 tweets, and our news went fast enough.
Smooth and swimmingly.
we could discuss the upcoming War Games NXT event. I don't know what's I don't know what all the official matches are right now.
I did hear that Pete Dunne will be fighting Johnny Gargano with the UK Championship on the line. So that's
yep, that is mid-official.
That's intriguing, because here stands a chance for the UK title to come into the NXT fold and give them a legitimate second title.
And I'm on the fence about this because
you'd rather see the UK show Royal Rumble.
King of the Ring, the Royal Rumble. Well, what I want to say is, for NXT, it is very good. Why can't I find a thing that talks about the NXT one? For NXT, it's good. You and I have talked. I don't know if we talked on the air, but you and I have talked that the UK title would be a good title to be their TV title or their IC title or their US title. They could use a secondary title.
Yes.
As good as they're getting and as big as they're getting,
and
they could use a secondary
Regal
title.
Being the acting manager, it makes sense that it would be the UK title as their secondary title.
The thing that gets me is that hurts all of these United Kingdom wrestlers who were hoping to get a show there in the United Kingdom that they could go to every week and be featured on and wrestle on and get eyes out there. Even if it wasn't aired in America, it'd be something that would be big for them that they could do and they'd get paid to do. If the title's going to come to NXT, WWE ain't flying, European wrestlers over every fucking week to go and wrestle in NXT. I know they take multiple shows at a time, but still, that's not happening. And NXT already has a stocked roster, so it's hard to fit more of those people into it. So the only thing I'm going to say is, if that's what happens, that hurt the UK wrestlers.
Honestly, we can speculate about it all we want. My personal opinion is Pete Dunne is not losing to Johnny Wrestling. So the UK title will still stay in his hands, and it's all on the board yet.
Right. So, okay, I got a list up. It's off of Wikipedia, but we'll say it's trustworthy. I couldn't find anything on WWE.com. I like to go off of them.
And as you go through it, you should change it to very wrong matches that aren't on the pay-per-view, since it's on Wikipedia.
Right. Well, don't you have to subscribe to Wikipedia to change shit? I think you do.
Probably.
Because I've wanted to change shit before, and I'm like, I'm not going to make something to correct it. So we got Cassius Ohno versus Lars Sullivan. I'm not a Lars Sullivan fan. I'm a huge Cassius Ohno fan.
I'm not a Cassius Ohno fan.
I don't think they have anything for him.
I don't like the fact that they got him wearing KO shirts now. You can't do that. You can't. You're not the KO anymore. You're just this overweight guy who's really tall.
You say he's just the overweight guy. KO is more overweight than KO is.
Yeah, but KO holds it better than KO does. KO's like our type.
That's because of the shirts they put on KO. They put KO in trunks and a tight fucking tank top. That's not, or a basketball jersey. Like, that's not what you put big guys in. I don't wear that shit. I like to breathe, man. I like to breathe.
I don't know. I didn't catch Cassius Ohno in his first run, and I don't like him now. And that's my
you've
opinion.
never really seen Chris Hero, right? You've never seen Chris Hero wrestle, right? Before he came to NXT?
No. I know this is going to build up. He's going to come to the main roster. They're going to have a rivalry over the name, and Owens is going to lose it because he's the heel, and he'd be better off to lose it than Cassius Ohno.
Let me just say this. Before they came to WWE, Cassius Ohno was Chris Hero, and he was in the Kings of Wrestling with Claudio Castagnoli, who is now Cesaro. And I can tell you that Chris Hero can hold his own against Cesaro. So you just haven't seen what he can do yet.
Well, I don't like what I've seen in NXT this round.
I agree with you. I mean, there's a lot of... I don't like what I've seen with Shinsuke in WWE so far. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, it hasn't been good. It has. I don't like what I've seen with Kyle O'Reilly, or not Kyle O'Reilly. Oh, my mind is just getting lost. Adam Cole. I don't like what I've seen with Adam Cole in NXT so far. If I had never seen him in the Indies, I would be sitting there like, why does everybody? What's the big deal about this guy? I don't see it.
I haven't actually got to watch much of his stuff. I'll start to watch NXT and then I won't watch it anymore.
I will say also that Cassius Ohno hasn't done a lot of great stuff in NXT, so I'm not excited for this match. I don't think Lars Sullivan is the guy to pull it out of him.
No.
So I don't see this becoming the sleeper match of the night at all. I'll pass. Now, what could become the sleeper match of the night, we have another singles match, Aleister Black versus the Velveteen Dream.
Yes.
Somehow, this has become my favorite rivalry in NXT at this moment, and it involves no champions.
Two gimmicks that you never would even think would collide. It's eerie
you wouldn't
and
think
wonderful.
They meld together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're so opposite, but they meld together beautifully in that way. That opposite attracts. It's like Paula Abdul and Scat Cat. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's probably before your time.
No, I know that music video.
All right. Sounds good. This is going to be great. Aleister Black has done nothing but impress, and I didn't really know him. He's one of the European guys that came around in the European tour, and I'd never. It was Tommy End, isn't it?
Yeah.
He was Tommy End, I believe. I can click on his name and find out, I guess, but and the Velveteen Dream seemed like it was going to just be a silly-ass fucking gimmick. And yes, it was Tommy End. I didn't really see or even hear of Tommy End. He was a European guy I didn't know much about. Velveteen Dream, he comes in, and this gimmick, I did not like it when I first seen it. Not for any horrible reasons, I just didn't really care of it, and I'd never heard of him from anywhere. I don't know if he's from anything. I don't know what he's done. I don't recognize him. They both own their gimmick. And they're working well together. They have chemistry.
It's odd, but I like it. And this is one of those things shit. This could be a WrestleMania match one year, probably.
Right? And although Velveteen Dream hasn't impressed me supremely in the ring as Aleister Black has, Aleister Black is awesome. He's beautiful to watch in the ring.
TakeOver has a way of bringing the best out of everybody. So exactly. I'm looking forward to
this
it.
Could be the sleeper match. This could be the match where we look back on and say, damn, that was the best match of the night. Another match that's going to be very good. I don't know why they have it this far down, but then again, it is Wikipedia. We have the NXT Championship match. Drew McIntyre coming in as the champion against Andrade Cien Almas.
Yes.
They've been doing a great job with this feud. Cien Almas was kind of floundering there for a while.
I've been for him
Zelina Vega. Yeah, and they got this Zelina Vega brought in there. And once they put her with him, she's got the charisma. She's an awesome actress. And she's a good voice for him. And she has been goading McIntyre over and over again. She's been walking up to the announce desks and taking the headsets off them and saying, "We want you, McIntyre. Why are you scared of Almas? Why are you scared of Cien? We want you. Why are you ducking us?" Like, she is the reason this is working so well. But Drew McIntyre and Almas both are awesome in the ring. So this should be a really good match. And dare I say, I want to see a title change here?
Yes. Give it to Almas for sure. He deserves it. I really like his in-ring style. And with the new mouthpiece, I think this is the time.
Right? I don't know that McIntyre needs to get called up. I'd be perfectly fine with him being called up. Just for the fact that he was a former WWE guy, I was kind of surprised he didn't skip NXT altogether. But I'm glad he didn't. Because Vince would ruin him. As many NXT guy before him.
Right. He could have been a third member of the Shield.
He could have. He could be the 3MB, the 3M Shield.
Oh my God, they're going to call him up and they're going to put three-man band back together. Now that Mahal has lost the championship.
You have a rivalry right there. Who wouldn't want to see those three in a match together? Not a main event, obviously.
Three-man band now.
Yeah,
they're all better.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's Slater we can pass on.
Could it be 4MB and could they include Rhino? Because he'd be lonely.
He's got to sit there and make the cheese and crackers at least, right? He can sit back there and make the cheese and crackers for him while they're wrestling.
I want to see a three-man band reunion. That'd be so great. They could do War Games with the Shield and New Day and three-man band.
I don't know they'd do a lot with three-man band, but they'd have to do at least one thing with them. But I do think you have a built-in rivalry with Jinder Mahal and Drew McIntyre.
I'd like to see them come back as a legitimate stable.
Champions, you know. But this should be a good one. I want to see Almas win, and I think he can. That can change. We still got a week to go. We got a fatal four-ways match for the vacant NXT Women's Championship match. If y'all haven't been paying attention, Asuka was the women's champion. She never was beat. She ended up getting an injury. She forfeited the title, and then went up to Raw, and now they're finally treating her good again. They're doing what they should have done from the beginning and just had her in squash matches over and over again against nobodies. The same thing they did with like Nia and Braun Strowman, and what they should have done with Shinsuke.
Yeah.
Feed them jobbers for a month at least. And just so people can get used to their styles, so people can see their finishers, so people can see them act without
going up against the top guy.
Anyways, yeah, without either sacrificing a top guy to lose to this new person, or how many people have we seen come up and lose their first match on the main roster, and they're like, well, and it's like, well, no. So here we go. We got Ember Moon versus Kairi Sane versus Nikki Cross versus Peyton Royce. It's hard to say. Is this Ember Moon's chance after she's tried and failed 1,000 times? Or does Kairi Sane come in out of nowhere after winning the Mae Young Classic and win the title?
What about Nikki Cross? Why can't she win?
You know what?
I like Nikki Cross.
And Peyton Royce actually would be believable winners. Peyton Royce and Billie Kay have been at the top of the women's division since they've got there. And Nikki Cross has proven herself. I did not care for her at first, but she's proven herself with some really good matches over and over again. And it would be good for the Sanity stable.
It would be. Nikki Cross and, God damn it. What's his name?
What's his name?
Yeah, the leader.
Eric Young? Eric Young.
Eric Young.
He won.
They're the only two in the Sanity who really matters, so...
It's sad but true. Hey, side note before we're gonna put a pin in this women's fatal four-way because we're not done with it. I didn't put in the news either that there were more releases, and the only one of note that I can think of was Sawyer Fulton. He was an NXT wrestler and he was a charter member of Sanity. He was there with Wolf before Killian Gravedigger Death got brought in. And I was never a big Sawyer Fulton fan, but I did like him better than Killian Death Star.
Killian's
you know what? I never want to see anybody lose their job, but I'm not going to say I'm going to miss seeing him on TV, if that makes sense.
No, I agree.
So folks, Sawyer Fulton got let go. He was a charter member of Sanity. He's the one that Killian Dane Wolf Grave replaced. Back to the women's title match. So what do you see? What do you think's happening, man?
I think Ember Moon. It's got to be her time. As much as anybody could win it, and I'd be okay with it. Yeah, Ember Moon.
You know what? I don't want to just keep saying the same thing you're saying, but I think it makes sense for Ember Moon. She tried and failed over and over and over again against Asuka. So now she isn't even against Asuka. She can prove that maybe she wasn't as good as Asuka, but Asuka's not here anymore. Now she sets the bar.
Right.
And Kairi saying she just came here. It'd be cool to see her come in and win the title right away. But let her have some feuds. Let's not put her in the title picture right away. Let's have her beat up a bunch of people and prove herself and show the folks who maybe didn't watch the Mae Young Classic what this broad's all about. So I'm okay with that. I would be more than okay with Kairi Sane winning. Let me not confuse you there. But I'm going to go Ember Moon makes sense, at least as of now. And you know what? I think there's so many matches that could walk away as the best match of the night. This one could end up walking away as the best match of the night. It's got some real competition, but these are some really badass broads, man. I'm not kidding. Not kidding. Then we got the War Games match, which is a little different than our traditional War Games match.
With the addition of shark cages, you mean?
The addition of shark cages and the fact that it's like, what is it, one wrestler of each person is in right away, and then after a while, then the rest of them get to come in, and it's not like every other or something like that, and I still haven't got a confirmation if it's two rings or one. I'm hearing things hearing things there and there and here and here. I haven't seen anything from WWE saying it's going to be 2 rings, which I hope it is. But definitely not your traditional, which used to be like 5-on-5 or 6-on-6. We've got 3 teams of 3, and they're doing it a little different, but it's something. And this, again, could be the best match of the night. We have the Authors of Pain, Akam and Razor, teaming with Roddy Strong. And they're taking on Sanity, which is Alexander Wolf, Eric Young, and Killian Gravedigger Deathchild Murder Boy. And they are taking on the Undisputed Era, CFO, Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly. Being that this is a War Games match, I mean, you can have anybody win realistically. I think looking at it as a War Games, that maybe the Authors of Pain and Roddy have the advantage. But I'm going to say that, well, you know, I'm looking at this now.
We already said last week, man, and I'm saying Adam Cole and company are walking away from this one the winners. I guarantee it.
Well, I'm just looking at this now. Aren't all 3 of them heels?
I think so, except for Roderick Strong. And Roderick Strong and the Authors of Pain aren't going to see eye to eye and play on the same page the way they should. And that's going to be their downfall.
Roddy's going to have a part in the finish, whether he does join the Undisputed Era or whether he just doesn't, you know, or he has a miscommunication with either Akam or Razor and ends up screwing something up. I can see that happening. That he's involved in them losing some way or the other.
Yeah.
But yeah, I honestly think it's Undisputed Era, and I'm still sticking with Roddy joins. I know they teased it because they came down and gave Roddy an armband, but he didn't put it on. He didn't put it on. So they're playing this. They're playing that the Undisputed Era wants him. Could he be the DDP to their NWO? Or will he end up being the Sting and joining reluctantly anyways? We will find out come War Games. And the one that they have at the top of the list, which I can't see this headlining it, The UK Championship, United Kingdom Championship, Pete Dunne versus Johnny Gargano. Yeah, you said earlier you think Dunne's going to win. I think Dunne's going to win, but this should be an awesome fucking match. These two guys' style, Johnny Wrestling, Pete Dunne, these two styles are going to work so well together.
Yes.
That we are going to get a "this is awesome" and "holy shit" chant going early.
Pete Dunne's my boy, man. I got his back. He's got my back. I pop his pimples.
See, I'm the opposite of you. I'm a bigger Johnny Gargano fan than him. But I think they're saving Gargano for when Tommaso Ciampa comes back. I think they got a storyline there ready to go. Gargano doesn't need this championship right now. And Pete's doing a great job with it. And he just recently got it. I mean, considering how often they defend it, he just recently won it. This is his second title defense at all, I think.
Yeah, that sounds right. That's at least what I've heard.
Yeah. So.
Oh God! Did you see Triple H? Triple H was at a UK show. Pete Dunne was in the ring.
Oh,
talking.
I didn't put that on the news either. That was huge.
What promotion was that?
It wasn't ICW. It was one I wasn't familiar with. Let me put it in the search engine real quick because it'll come up. While I'm doing that, also, I forgot to mention, and I said I was going to do this. I want to give a shout out to the Solomonster. He has a podcast, Solomonster Sounds Off. And he just celebrated his 10th anniversary. He's been doing a podcast for 10 years. Before podcasts were even like a thing. Before they were commonplace and people listened to podcasts. Probably before podcasts had a name. 10 years that man's been going at it. He's put me on the show before. He's given a shout out to Beef Sticks Podcast on his 10th anniversary show, which he did a live YouTube video of. He took my call, talked to me for a little bit. I gave a shout out to Beef Sticks, so I appreciate him, who's a big fish in this pond, acknowledging us little fishes. And hopefully, Pasty, when you and I do our 10th anniversary show, we can call up the Solomonster and get him on our show.
There you go. I like that. Life goals.
It was ICW, so I was wrong. I thought it was it's not insane. It was ICW, Insane Championship Wrestling, which is probably the biggest over there. So that was impressive. He was there with Pete Dunne, who is the champion, but that is not. Well, that being said, we do know they have a working relationship. We've covered that on our show. Yes. They have a working relationship with ICW right now, and they would be some guys that would be on the UK show if they were there. But obviously Triple H is in the neighborhood for the European tour, but that's a huge deal for an independent promotion anywhere and anyway to get Triple H. WWE has a working deal with Evolve Wrestling, and I haven't heard of Triple H showing up at Evolve.
Right. Now it'll happen.
So, now it will happen. Who knows? Triple H is definitely going to make changes when he takes over.
Isn't that what this whole episode's been
probably
about?
Probably not
really
as much
changes
and as great as we think, but yeah, this was a very changes-heavy episode. We could have named it Changes. Changes. But we didn't. And with that being said, I think we're going to end fucking perfectly on time, Pasty.
That's magical.
It's mythical.
Mythical.
Amazing, flabbergasting.
Astounding.
So as always, I'm Fat Mac.
And my name is Spacey Wide.
I love you like a love sick puppy.
Club Underground. Cloud Style Broadcasting at 1812 presents Welcome Taken.
Do it. All you fuckers. Do it. I don't know about you. I just ended